Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is my co-host, whose love of Leprechaun is legendary, even in hell, Nate.
It is not the leprechaun that summons us. It is desire. I might have mixed my quotes up a little bit based on yours, because you stole mine.
Yes, I finally. Usually you steal. What was yours gonna be? That
Yeah, I was saying your suffering will be legendary even in hell.
That's only when we do Leprechaun films.
Or the doctor is in. Or I had three. I recommend ... amputation.
Oh my god. Oh, can't wait. Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who's usually not considered a horror fan. Listen, we've got a doozy, and I don't know where Lisa is. We were running around the labyrinth, spinning crystals in the sky, and I don't know. We just kind of lost Lisa somewhere in there, so...
Did you lose her because you were on drugs? What are you describing?
Don't worry.
There's
about
crystals
that.
in the sky. Don't worry about it. Was Lucy up there? Was Lucy up there too?
It was probably closer to the Rick and Morty. Show us what you got. But so yeah, I mean, we're gonna press along. We'll hopefully Lisa may get through the labyrinth next week. But we're gonna go with this week's movie of the week, Hellbound. Starring Chuck Norris. It was about two Chicago cops who investigate a murder until they encounter an ancient demon.
Oh, no. It's a Netflix Korean TV series about hellhounds coming out of the ground and killing people in modern day Seoul.
Oh, okay. We need to check the tape from the 5-star review. It's Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Although I now want to do a triple feature of Hellbound. All of them. Which Hellbound will reign supreme? I don't know. Hellbounding. The Chuck Norris one. Didn't know that existed. Very intrigued. Please leave us a 5-star review and request Hellbound with Chuck Norris. Clearly, you're going to have to be specific about which Hellbound you need.
There's way better Chuck Norris movies than Hellbound.
Oh, I know there's better Chuck Norris movies. That's not what I want.
There's not. Okay, well, hold on. There's not any good Chuck Norris movies, but there are better ones. Unless you count Dodgeball, in which case, okay. Someone requests the Octagon.
Oh God!
And then you can see in the Octagon, the last villain is actually the person who got my wife or gave my wife her black belt. That's nice. There you go.
I think
5-star review.
There you go. All right. Well, there's that. Yeah, we'll have a martial arts themed episode.
Yeah. Oh my God. What? Yes.
My.
Is that possible? Is that possible?
The black belt I have is the Grandmaster. It was in Kung Fu Hustle. And
what is happening?
Yeah.
Let's do one where we rotate. And it's like different movies with the people who give black belts out to either ourselves, you, and or people we are married to.
That sounds great. Because
there's a couple movies that this dude is in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the same guy. I mean, Kung Fu Hustle.
There we go. Yeah.
All right.
It was the Taylor. Yeah, the Taylor. So yeah, we're gonna do the specific Hellbound we're doing is Hellraiser 2, which. Incredibly, Nate, this is the first Hellraiser we've done since we've done this podcast. So, of course, it just made sense that we're starting with the sequel, as is tradition and custom.
it's like prima nocta or something.
It's
that's the way you
it's not. What?
It's just the first movie must go with us in the evening, no matter what happens, and then the second one. That's all. That's all you guys. That's all you guys get.
I didn't even know that was a trend that we did until someone pointed out to us. I'm like, oh yeah, that it is a thing that we apparently do. So anyway, look, we've got a lot to get into and unpack with this movie. It is. I don't think we've reviewed a movie quite like this in some time. No. So I'm excited. No. But look, before we do that, as always, let's have a debate question.
Hearken to me, you two-legged dogs. Drink the vision mead of knowledge. To learn what it is to live and die in honor. To be in battle slain and in death rewarded by the Valkyrie's embrace.
You know, I said last time I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, where's the warnings?
And
you didn't understand the warnings.
Oh yeah, well that's because I didn't clean it up well enough, man. The one you got me, it's so quiet. I had to like bump up the audio. So
it's because I'll get you the full audio track version. But I still want the warning one. That one's still better. Okay. Anyway, is this the debate question? The debate question is.
I don't even know what debate question we have for this one.
Which drop should we do from now on? Right? Is that? Yeah.
You know what? Let's have a legitimate horror debate question. Let's do this.
I felt like all of them were legitimate before, but apparently I was incorrect.
They're not all created equal. But let's talk about Hellraiser. This is the franchise. I mean, how many of these have you watched, Nate?
I quadrupled my Hellraiser knowledge while in the hospital after my firstborn son was born. Fantastic. Because it was in October and AMC Fright Fest was on. And they did all of the movies in order, and we never changed the channel.
I'm hoping that I
watched a lot of Hellraiser.
I'm hoping that your wife was giving birth while Pinhead's like, your suffering will be legendary.
No, unfortunately, it was a Walking Dead episode. Boo.
Oh no!
Trying to have it during Halloween, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, you were born during Halloween? Okay, you were born during like some random episode of Walking Dead. Oh. Anyway, so I watched actually like the third, fourth, fifth, maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, I got a good, and I'd never seen the second one. I'd never seen this movie. I'd seen the first one for my 31 days. I'm not a Hellraiser person, so I had never seen any until a couple of years ago.
So that may inform this discussion. Then, I mean, where do you place Hellraiser amongst the classic franchises? Right. So where do you place it against Jason? I mean, if we want to keep it into the 80s franchises only. I mean, where do you put this franchise? I mean, I guess I'm asking for like a ranked list.
Can I just say, this is controversial, but
it is greater than Leprechaun.
No, I don't know about that. But I will say I don't really like the Clive Barker stuff other than Candyman. Other than that, I'm not really a fan.
Interesting. So, why is that?
Well, I watched Rawhead Rex. Didn't care for that. Hellraiser, the first one is solid. I understand why it got other things. Mm-hmm. The other ones I did not care for. Nightbreed has like a cult following. I don't think it's very good. And then Candyman. So Candyman, can't complain about that one. But then like there's other stories. Obviously he can't control some of these adaptions and things like that. So not really his fault there. But I don't know. People are saying like Clive Barker, is like incredible. And I'm just not that big of a fan. So for me, that colors it a little bit because I'm just not a fan of a lot of his deal. So from that perspective, that being said, the first one I thought was good. And then I don't care about anything else. So low in my estimation. Like I would put the Critters franchise above this, probably.
That's a strong. That's a very strong statement.
I have more fun watching the Critters ones personally.
I'm interested. This is gonna be a more interesting episode than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, this look. It's probably more middle of the road for me as a franchise. I mean, in terms of iconic characters, Pinhead's up there. You know, Pinhead is a absolute. I mean, he's up there with Freddy. Really all the Cenobites, right? Like, I think the worst thing they did was give him too much backstory. Right? Like, you just needed just enough, which I think if you watch them sequentially, it's probably fine. Yeah, I think they really got into like his whole thing with
what 80s horror franchises are worse? So Leprechaun's 90s, so that doesn't count. But like what? I mean, if you're counting 90s, then it's a little different story. But like what? I just don't know.
Child's Play. I would probably say I would put Hellraiser or the Hellraisers franchise over Child's Play.
I think I go Child's Play.
Really? Just because it's funny? I mean, Child's Play was never great. I mean, when they was it the third one where they switched? They're at the boys' military school and he switched out the fake ammunition for real ammunition. That was classic. So the third one or second one? Oh my god! I think that was the third one. That's the third one.
That one's great.
I mean, look, do we count Puppet Master as an 80s franchise? It started in 89.
Yeah, in that case.
But the bulk
is better than Puppet Master.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Even though you've never seen one. So that's
I've seen parts of some. I have never seen one all the way.
That's not seeing a movie, Nate. That's seeing part of a movie.
I saw no.
How dare you? I mean, look, it's as a franchise, would you? I don't know if I'd put this above or behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a franchise. Individual movie one-on-one, like if you just took like the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the very first Hellraiser.
Oh, it's not even close.
Not even close. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But the franchise, I mean, there's not a really good Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel.
No, I think I agree there. Jaws, throw Jaws in there too.
Yeah.
Jaws movies are garbage.
I mean, you know,
I've seen all those ones.
Yeah.
I've seen all the Jawses.
Yeah,
not great.
I mean, Halloween, you know, will be top of there as well. That obviously beats it out. Friday the 13th. I mean, just by sheer numbers, Nightmare on Elm Street will be better. I'd put those above Hellraiser.
Oh, you know what?
I do wonder though if Hellraiser goes.
I'm gonna take this back. I forgot about Ghoulies. Oh God. I forgot about Ghoulies.
There is that.
So I'm gonna back up a little bit. I'm gonna back up a little bit and say Ghoulies is lower for sure.
I think maybe I'd have this franchise right around there. I mean, granted, I never saw Hellraiser Revelation, so maybe that's a.
Puppet Master way down. I mean, like a Children of the Corn after the first one, you're really getting low.
Admittedly, yeah. Sequels are more. I mean, and that's why I say like, where do you like the Evil Dead franchise? I don't know. It got too comedic, right? It doesn't really
like Return of the Living Dead. You mean?
No. Like the Evil Dead.
Oh, Evil. Yeah, but those are good movies. So I don't really. Even though they're comedic, they're just good.
Sure. I wouldn't put that behind Hellraiser. Return of the Living Dead probably it's fine. I'd still probably say Hellraiser's better. I feel like it really just kind of depends on which side of the split from Romero's team did you. If you liked Return of the Living Dead, then yeah. If you liked more of the Dawn of the Deads and those more, then you know. Probably put those. I mean,
we're gonna eventually do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and see. I haven't watched it in a bit. I need to see how I feel about that one.
Okay, so I guess that's where I have it. I think if for like full franchises, so multiple sequels, not just a sequel, I think I would have to say at least for the 80s, it would be. I won't put myself on the spot for top 3, but you know, the classics, right? I mean, you've got your. You got your Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. And then I think I'd put Hellraiser and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then Child's Play. Was Child's Play 80s or was that 90s?
It started in the 80s.
Started in the 80s, yeah.
I'm almost positive. I think it was late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I count it. I count that. That's fine.
An Alien. Oh, sorry. And of course, Alien is like top of there. So that bumps everything down.
Oh, I'm not even counting. This is like garbagey ones, like slashery garbagey ones. Not garbagey, but slasher, more like a slasher franchise.
Sure. Okay. Well, all right. So you would have it much further down then. You would have it in the Ghoulies section.
No, it's above Ghoulies. I mean, I'm going to go with the other Candyman movies aren't very good. I don't even know. Do I just not like Clive Barker at all? Is that sacrilegious? I have no clue. I need to figure this out. Do we need to watch more movies? Yeah,
apparently,
I don't know.
While Nate is doing
everything.
Nate's doing some deep soul searching. So while he's doing that, leave us a review anywhere, Apple Podcasts, 5-star review. You can get yourself a movie. Like
someone gave us a 5-star review. We did this movie. So I mean, it's the proof is there.
If you don't tell us what you want to see us review, we're going to make those decisions, and that's how you get Leprechaun over and over again. That's how you potentially are going to get. You get Birdemic. No one asked for that, and here we are. So, my goodness. Also, of course, let us know where you think Hellraiser stacks up amongst the classics or the great franchises. At Texas Podcast Massacre at gmail.com, TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. Nate, let's get into this week's movie of the week, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
The vision is renewed. The power is reawakened. The fear is reborn. Because they have returned.
Time to play.
Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Brace yourself for terror you have never imagined.
And your suffering will be legendary even in hell.
And horrors you can never escape.
And you wanted to know. Now you know.
Last year, they brought hell to Earth. Now, they'll take you through hell. Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Time to play.
I mean, that's a terrible tagline. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, not great. Not great. Yeah. Bad.
I'll at least admit that, I think we had a debate question previously about which of these like horror scenarios you'd find yourself in. And you know what? I think it was either myself or Lisa mentioned escape room, but this is also a puzzle themed one that I feel like, I'd get myself stuck on this shit and be like, oh, damn it.
Really? You get yourself stuck in this?
Well, I'd be playing with that stupid puzzle box, and then it's like, oh, well, now I've summoned, the Pinhead demon, Pinhead and the Cenobites. Great. And this would be a worse thing because I admittedly, my like thing I can't watch on screen is like people getting pierced.
Oh,
so watching fucking scorpion shit showing up, like get over here and 500 times is a little traumatic for me.
Are you okay with weird like penis slugs coming out of dudes' hands?
That's fine.
That's my okay. Well, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Just it's like the like piercing into flesh bothers me. Like, you ever had those like friends that like would get like a needle and like stick it through like the bottom part of the pad of their finger and stuff, you know, like through just part of the skin.
Nope, never heard of that before.
I had fucked up friends. Clearly, it was rough. I did not care for that. So, anyway, now you all know a little bit about me.
What is happening? All right. Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I tell you this: Ghoulies never had that. So just take that however you want.
There you go. Look, the elevator pitch for this movie clearly was like, hey, remember how we created this like really badass like creature and Pinhead, and we made a bunch of money off this movie, and it was really awesome.
Let's do that again real quick.
Let's do it, but instead of being in a house, let's go to hell. That's this movie. That's this movie. I mean, you know. Really, really interesting depiction of hell. We're getting to that. Nate, what can you tell us about Hellbound : Hellraiser 2?
I love that they put Hellraiser 2 as the second part. I
wish they had kept it throughout they reverted back because I guess people got like confused. I don't know. I agreed.
Yeah, they got confused.
Agreed.
People suck. I don't know. So yeah, Hellraiser. There's been 10 Hellraiser movies. This is the second. Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Again, well documented title there. There's about to be an 11th Hellraiser on Hulu, coming from my boy David Bruckner of Night House fame. Very excited about this one coming out October 7th. So,
are you excited about this? I mean, it's still Clive Barker material.
Don't care. Night House. Anything after the Night House, I'm in.
Okay, so it's really more Clive Barker directing than Clive Barker writing. Is that what you think it is?
It's the dude who directed Night House. So
but I mean, if the subject matter is
if David Bruckner was doing a Ghoulies movie, I'd be interested in it. Let me just say it that. Okay. Let me say it that way.
So what I'm hearing is you're super superficial. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I like this director quite a bit. So anyway, so that's gonna be the 11th movie. There's been 10. The last one being Hellraiser Judgment in 2018. The ones I saw in the movie theater, none of them.
Yeah.
4 of them were in the movie theater, and then were released in theaters, and then 6 were straight to video. And then I watched in the hospital 3, 4, and 5, which is. So it's Hellbound 2, Hellraiser 2, then they go back to sucking. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser Inferno, starring the actor who played Keith in One Tree Hill. That's right. Hellraiser Hellseeker, Hellraiser Deader, terrible name. Hellraiser Hellworld, Hellraiser Revelations, and then 2018's Hellraiser Judgment. And for this Hulu one, we're going back to just straight up Hellraiser. So there we are. That is the entirety of the franchise. Hellraiser 1 came out September 10th, 1987. Hellbound came out in December 23rd, 1988. You got about 14 months, 15 months between movies. Cranked it out because the first one made $14.6 million on a $1 million budget. So that's good. And then this one made $12 million on a little bit larger budget. Although you wouldn't notice it because this movie has the entire first movie in it, the highlights. So easy. It's 97 minutes. And I don't know if I need to say this, but it's rated R, Mitch. I don't know if you caught that or not in this one.
Yeah.
You caught that? Okay. Taglines. They will tear your soul apart again. Time to play. The horror continues. Clive Barker takes us on a descent into ... They don't even finish the sentence. Some of the worst taglines. So they picked the best ones for the trailer, Mitch. That's what I was really getting at there.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So the director of this one is Tony Randall. Not that Tony Randall, famous American actor. Not that one. Tony Randell, Randel. You might remember him from Nothing. From the visual effects from Escape from New York. You might remember him from that. But as a director...
Those are good visual effects.
As a director, not the best. You know what? He directed Amityville 1992. It's About Time. I'm going to go back and say Amityville is by far the worst franchise. I'm going to go back and retroactively do that.
Yeah, I guess they were...
Every single Amityville movie is garbage other than the first one, including the Ryan Reynolds remake.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go. That almost might be the absolute bottom. I'm talking like the Chud movie. Chud movies are above that. Everything's above that. Anyway, yeah. So he did one of those. So if you think it can't get worse, it can. The main actor in this,
you should put that on the poster, Nate.
Yeah. This guy's career was a descent into hell. Hey, Doug Bradley plays Pinhead. He's known for that. He has also been in every other horror small part thing that's ever existed. He was a voice in the Netflix Dota TV series, which I did not know existed. He was in oh my god, he's in some Star Wars stuff. So I'll throw that out there. He was in Wrong Turn 5 Bloodlines. I didn't realize how many Wrong Turn movies there have been.
Too many.
That was a second rabbit hole because I didn't realize there had been 5. And then I was realizing, oh no, there's been 7.
Oh.
I didn't realize there was 7. I thought there was like 4. Anyway, so that guy's been doing some work there. He's in obviously everything. Hell, he was in a Pumpkinhead made for TV movie called Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes. And I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in some other Clive Barker stuff as well. Mm-hmm. Basically, this was his first big role. The first role for this dude ever was just being Hellraiser, which is in Hellraiser being Pinhead. He's also in Nightbreed, whatever. Not bad for a first like role. I would say. Like, okay, I can see why this guy's getting work, but the work he's getting is just yikes. But anyway, hey, he's making checks, going to conventions, doing stuff. Can't blame him. But anyway, he's still doing stuff. He's still cranking them out. So you can check out Dagon Troll World Chronicles, The Trip, which looks like wild. United States of Horror Chapter 3, The Barn Part 2. Those are all movies that have not been released yet. The Barn Part 2, also featuring Dinah Prince from Last Drive-In, Billy Bob Thornton, and Billy Bob himself. So you're basically set there because he keeps churning them out. We also got Claire Higgins playing Julia in this one. You might remember her from a small role in Ready Player One. She has a small role in the Sandman TV series just came out. Okay. Still cranking some stuff out. So there you go. Little run on Doctor Who. And just general runs on stuff. Apparently there's a TV series called Dangerous Liaisons coming out that she is actually a big part of. So there you go. There's that.
Is she the dangerous liaison, or
I don't know? In this movie, and the previous one, she definitely is. I tried to look up the girl Tiffany.
Top-notch reporting, Nate.
The girl Tiffany wasn't anything. She's like, I'll do a couple TV shows, but I'm kind of done after this one. Yeah, you know what? There's more people, but I'm just gonna. And I guess I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Kirsty, actress Ashley Lawrence. She was in an episode of The Last Drive-In as herself getting interviewed. She was briefly in one of the new Creepshow things. She's in Smile from last year, short film, not related to Mitch's exciting thing. She was in a Slipknot music video called Snuff back in 2009. I knew you'd like that one.
Was she? Was that okay? I don't know if
I
remember that video.
Go look up Snuff.
Maybe.
Oh, actually, another bad horror.
In front of that.
Another bad horror franchise, Warlock 3. She was in that one.
Oh man, I forgot about Warlock.
Also.
That's probably for the best. I wish I kept forgetting about Warlock.
Nope. Now you got it. So she's been in a couple things, but not really acting a ton. She was in The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is a fun walk around video game. And pre-production on Lower Lake, which is a thriller. And I would say, who's in the movie? And I don't know any of these people. So, but she's still doing stuff, albeit at a snail's pace. So yeah, there is that.
Look, work at your own pace. I think that's the important thing.
That's true.
You know,
probably grueling filming all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
this one seemed like a fun shoot. Like, is this a fun shoot? Everyone's joking around, having a great time. I don't know. A lot of makeup, a lot of weird stuff happening. I can't imagine this being. I mean, look, like a funny time on set. Well, maybe it was. I don't know.
I think I've told you. I mean, you know, this had to suck, right? Because like when I think I've told you this story. I think one of the first years I didn't go trick or treating. I went over to like a friend's house for like a Halloween sleepover. And as we went to the store and, you know, just rented a bunch of horror films, just whatever cover art looked like the best. That's what we based it on. And my friend's like brother-in-law and his sister were going to some Halloween party. And, we got there after school on a Friday. I guess like Halloween was on a Friday. We got there after school on a Friday and he went in, he was like, okay, I gotta get ready to get my costume on. We're like, man, it's getting early. It was like 9:00 or so by the time he showed up. And I mean, he is in full Pinhead, like latex mask, nail, like legit, like kind of nails in there, like the whole outfit, everything. I mean, legit looked like Pinhead. It was like, holy shit. I can't imagine having to do that every damn day.
Yeah.
For these, like, yeah, that's like that. That's like, you know, you see those people like the dude doing Vecna on Stranger Things. It's just like, he's just sitting there for hours just trying to get that shit on. I bet that was, yeah. I mean, what else you do? You just like, film the other scenes, I guess, while you're waiting, but my God. Nate, what was your first impression of this movie? You said you never seen it until.
Never seen it before. Yep. Nope. And then, I don't know.
You were sort of the unsuspecting victim today. All right. I like
that. I don't know how I feel about this. I just don't care about anyone in this movie.
Well, yes, but about the movie, I mean.
Yeah, I just don't care about anyone. So that makes it interesting.
What are we gonna crank out some Drowning Pool now? You're gonna don't care about
I don't
anyone
know.
but me.
You know, I was thinking, so because you talk trash about Leprechaun, now I'm gonna compare it to Leprechaun. I was comparing this doctor guy, right? Is obviously, you know, not great. Is that
That's a good. Is
that fair?
That's a good I want to go. Can I look up your I want to go read any other reviews you put online.
Really concise. Really concise. Dr. Chenard. I was thinking of Dr. Mittenhand from Leprechaun, who turns into the spider. Because this guy turns into kind of like a spidery deal too. Or more like slug. I don't know, slug that can shoot smaller slugs. I don't know. I'm trying to compare. Like, anyway, it kind of reminded me of that.
There's no comparison to the Leprechaun franchise.
There is. It's there. It's there. But no, I would say the movie was, you know, I mean, nothing else is having this level of skin peel. Like, you know what I mean? So it's got that going for it. If you like the Cenobites, then the movie, I think, still works for you. If you don't care about the Cenobites, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So without the Cenobites, this is basically like the worst Freddy movie ever, right? Because they're in their own hell, aka dream, whatever you want to call it. And so it's basically like if you would rank it against the Freddy movies, in terms of like the dream sequences and all that stuff, I think it would rate pretty low.
I mean, they're not dream sequences. Like shit's happening.
No, sure. I'm just saying like it's a setup like that, right? Like, oh, you're in hell. Okay, you have to go do the thing in the otherworldly place.
I gotcha.
So if I'm comparing it like that, it's on the lower end for sure. Some of the highlights in this one include throwing a sheet onto fire and everything exploding. So you got that going for you. There's someone's mom getting put under anesthesia. So that's fun. And there's a lot of talking, and Cenobite's not doing anything. The Cenobites can't move because of all the makeup and stuff they have on. They like physically can't. I don't think these people can physically move. So they just stand there and nothing happens.
They don't need to move. The chains move on their own.
I know, but it's just like it's not scary if they never move. Never move.
It's about working smarter, not harder. Okay.
Okay, that's true. But if you're working really efficiently, maybe it's just less scary. Maybe that's what it is. Like, it's just coldly calculated.
That's their point. But what they get joy out of, that's where they're different than your slashers. Their joy is not in the hunt. It's not in the chase. It's in the actual like torture. So they're not running around giving chase. They're like, no, we're gonna get you, and then it's gonna be great. So like you're coming back. Don't worry about it. Stop teasing us.
But like you're like, you tricked us for the last time. Tricked you didn't even move. How did you get tricked? You just stood there and then she left. Anyway, I think the Cenobites are overrated. That said, I think the look is creepy. They nailed that part. I think Hellraiser has no problems there. Some of the scenes with the people in the mental hospital, are genuinely creep city.
Yep, and I believe
that part is locked in.
And everything else around it. And that was all in the basement. How do you feel about that, Nate?
No, it was below the basement. It was the maintenance level. So I'm just gonna call it the maintenance level.
So there's something even worse than basements. It's the maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance. Level. Yeah, the maintenance. It's like below the basement. Yeah. I would say it was worse because it said basement and then maintenance. So I'm just gonna dodge. I'm gonna dodge as much basement hate as I possibly can. So those are words. But yeah, I don't know. So what do you think about it? So you have Hellraiser in the middle, right, of the franchises. What do you think about this one?
I liked it overall. I think what I think I liked about it. I think you got okay. So I really like the first one, right? And I cannot stand any of the sequels. It loses me real quick right after number 2. I'd only ever seen number 2 like once though before, so I didn't. I remember the general stuff, but I didn't really like remember all the super, details and everything. I did remember the fight scene, and we'll get into that. Which is like the most. It's the most anticlimactic, like big bad fight scene ever. And that's probably what to me when you talk about like the Cenobites kind of being lame. That's like it kind of took a little bit of the sting out of them, right? But I guess they felt they had to. We'll get into it. What I liked about this movie, I think that it built off of the first one real well is, again, I think the world building is really cool. I did really like this idea of this sort of H.P. Lovecraft type of, like, I'm trying to find the answers to the human mind and all this stuff, right? And I really
think mystery.
Yeah, and I really think they should lean more into that. They sort of fell back into effectively what was part of the first story, which that's probably where it's weakest to me, is where it kept leaning on those original characters. I really would have liked this had it been a more standalone. Like the Hellraisers would have done a lot better making sure each one was a standalone thing where Pinhead, almost like an anthology, where Pinhead and the Cenobites sort of show up at the end, or are kind of involved that way, but it's like different stories that all involve the boxes, right? I thought that part was really good. I mean, some of the effects are real bad. Like today, they don't hold up. Like
I mean, that's fair. 1988.
I don't grade it harshly, but I mean, yeah, if you're like, if you're watching this for the first time, like the scene with all the bodies in that one room where it's just like, oh yeah, this looks like any Spirit Halloween store, is rough. But there's also some cool effects that are great. Like the popping out of the mattress is a pretty effective scare. It's definitely if you're into like gross gore and not the realistic like Eli Roth shit, but like just like the overall just bloody visceral like body horror type stuff. This is the beginning, right? This is where it all really kind of kicks off and runs from in terms of modern horror. So I don't know. I liked it. I thought, we'll get into kind of some of the story beats. I thought it was interesting. I like the idea of this version of hell and it being like a labyrinth and all that, Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The hell was I was more interested by the stuff happening in the hospital than I was by the hell. I thought it got worse when it went to the hell part, personally.
I don't know. I mean, I think there are parts of it that worked and parts that didn't. I think I like the idea of it being like different. Like, the part that worked for me, I thought really good was when she runs into her Uncle Frank's like his hell type of scenario.
Uncle Frank is one of the worst family members of all time.
Oh no, yeah, he's terrible.
He's like the worst, literally the worst family member that's ever existed. Basically, at this point. Yeah. Not great.
I mean, it would have been better had there been more rooms and it's more people like involved in her life. I mean, maybe that's a little more bleaker because then it's like, oh, well, everyone and loves in hell. So maybe I get why you don't do that. But a bit more if it was more personalized like scenarios than what we kind of got. But I mean, it was a nice take away from just straight up Inferno demon thing. I mean, big floating puzzle piece in the sky is kind of creepy.
It's like I know what the void was going for. Finally, after like 5 years since we watched the void, I now understand what they were going for.
Yeah,
and I also don't like the thing that they were based off of. So now it makes total sense. Now it makes total sense to me.
Yeah,
what was happening there?
Yeah.
So yep, I get it. I totally get it. Highlights on this one. I would say that there's some kills in this that are something.
Yeah.
There's some kills that are something. The guy cutting himself because he thought that maggots were on him.
Yeah, that was upsetting. Yeah,
that was intense.
Yeah.
The way that the Dr. Chenard, where his face got the wires across it,
mm-hmm.
and then like the thing pumped and then pumped in his mouth.
Yeah,
that was intense too. So these are unsettling things happening, and yeah, that was effective. It worked. I was like, damn. All right, well, damn. Okay, this is happening, huh? So yeah, so that part I would say was successful.
Well, and
it did what they needed it to do at that point.
Yeah, and even her digging into like the back, like the base of their skull and shit, and like
yeah, it was no joke. No joke.
The dust were
so you don't like piercing stuff. So how did this go for you?
It was better than when I remember seeing it when I was younger. When I was younger, this was it very much bothered me and I didn't care for it.
So when Vincent D'Onofrio was hanging from the hooks in the cell, like you didn't like that very
not
much.
A fan. No. it's not a thing.
Okay.
I'm now regretting having shared that with you, Nate. I'm not gonna be a little.
I'm not gonna like be. We go to Fantastic Fest in a month. Spoiler alert: we're going to Fantastic Fest. We're gonna be talking about it. But back to this, I'm not going to be bringing any needles or anything and piercing myself like some people apparently did nearby you. I'm not planning on doing that. So you can rest easy. You can rest easy on that front.
Thank you for your courtesy on that one.
No
problem. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something in this movie that really. I mean, so we had the one scene where he's like, the doctor is literally bringing some of his patients home, and because he has the mattress now.
Oh no, I can get your clothes. I'm a doctor. One of some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life from the junior doctor guy who gets murdered pretty summarily.
I was actually okay with that.
I was 100% okay. Is this guy acting bad on purpose? Like what's happening here? Maybe I don't know if Tony Randall's direction was the best. I'm pretty confident that it wasn't the best, but still, even with that, like, dang, why is this so bad? And I will say this: when I was looking at trivia on this, this film, along with Titanic, holds the record for the most times two characters repeat each other's name: Tiffany and Kirsty, back and forth.
Oh my God.
Titanic is like a 3-hour plus movie. This movie is like 97 minutes, which means they are yelling each other's name a million times in the fake corridors of hell. Probably one of the reasons why I didn't like that whole section. So that's a little tidbit for you about how ridiculous. That was my hell. Maybe it worked. Maybe this is all like this. Maybe this worked way better than I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe they succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, maybe they just succeeded, and I just didn't get it. That could be it too. Easily possible.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, what did you with this movie? I don't know. I mean, what I think they did really good in this movie is that while there are more scenes with the Cenobites, they still aren't taking center stage of the overall story, and which is usually, I feel like, the sort of trap you get into early when you do a sequel, like, oh, now I got to give you more of this thing that everyone like really freaked out about, right? Like, I mean, take for instance, I mean, The Nun's a great example, right? You've got this really creepy sort of nun character that kind of cameos. It's not even the main part of the story. It's just kind of there. And then they're like, oh, everyone really thought that was creepy. Let's make a whole feature film about it. So I thought they were smart in that they didn't. That wasn't the showcase, right? Like they're a piece of it. They weren't the critical piece. I mean, the Doctor ended up being, I think, a pretty decent villain, particularly when he was solid when he becomes like
when he becomes Dr. Mittenhand,
fucking Akira or whatever, or Tetsuo or whatever,
Oh yeah, Tetsuo ish, yeah.
Like that was. I mean, and even the creature design of it was particularly creepy, right? Like he's got the brain drilled in his head, but now he's also like performing operations and really kind of settling into his whole like, I'm a crazy I'm a crazy. No, you can stop. You can just stop. I'm a crazy. That's it. Nailed it. I'm a crazy.
Got it.
Like I said, I think for me, I wish this movie would have dug a little bit more into like the stuff he was doing about the mysteries of the mind, and maybe that would have been a better.
That I think I would have liked more of that and less of the hell. Like once it was determined he was that guy, I would have actually loved to see like a evil doctor mystery montage. That would have been great. I would love like a couple of minutes of that, rather than like they really dragged out the hell part. Would be the way I would probably describe it. They dragged out the hell a little bit much for me.
Well, I didn't feel I didn't think that at first. I mean, I can certainly see your point. It didn't bother me too much. I do agree. I mean, I think like him trying to discover it. It would have been more interesting to watch him like continually trying to find someone who could open the box. Like it all just felt very easy. Like this is I don't understand.
What's in the box? Sorry, I had to do that
Of
at least
course.
one time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
You're not that sorry.
No, I'm pretty sorry about it. What's in the box? I literally said that out loud multiple times while watching this movie.
As you should.
To be fair, in this movie, everything is said 500 times. Everything is said a million times in a row. Why did they want to do that? Is my main question. Anyway, sorry, I'm done.
To make sure you don't. Make sure you understand the warning, Nate. I think is the reason.
God damn it! This is locked into our lives now. Like this is it. This is happening. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know if it's unfortunate. It's not too bad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie's good. I don't know that I have a whole lot more to say. I'm trying to even think of anything. Can we talk about the fight scene? I guess let's talk about that because
God. So the doctor getting turned into the monster, genuinely unsettling. So that's good. Then when he's the monster, though, I get into this. What do you think? What do you think about this whole deal here?
Like when he's the monster, or
he's the monster? Yeah. And again, okay. So, I know I'm ranting.
I know. I'm enjoying this
here. Okay. So, you said the Cenobites don't have to move. Cenobite meaning they're from a monastic order, whatever that means.
Yeah, they just turn
around
they're
there
and they're there.
They're there, and they use their hooks to get people. Okay, so I get that.
They get their hooks.
Now, there is a huge Dr. Chenard slug throwing huge slug Dr. Mittenhand from
what's it connected
Leprechaun
to?
4.
What's the end of the arm thing connected to?
I don't know. No one knows.
Like
it
that part's
matter.
just floating out in space, or like?
Well, you know what's not connected? These people's feet to their bodies. Because so this is a person we're going to torture. We don't want to move. We're lazy. We've been doing this for a long time. We're really good at it. Okay, fair. This person can shoot shit out of their hands. None of the Cenobites move. Not once, including their leader, Pinhead. Everyone else is dead around him. 1, 2, 3, 4. His throat gets slit. The only movement he makes during this fight is falling down from his throat getting slit. There is no attempt to move in any way from this extremely imposing thing. I don't care if you're a Cenobite or not. If you see 4 people dying next to you, in theory, you should move your foot at some point.
Well,
some point.
Well, I mean, he was clearly sacrificing himself. But at the same time, like
was there like some sort of like time slowing mechanic that we couldn't see?
Well, I don't know.
They put bullet time and then like did all of this. Is that what happened? Because that would make more sense.
Well, I don't know that he really slowed down anything. Like he just kind of died. Like it's kind of like in the original Predator, where the one dude's like, "Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna fight the Predator and slow it down." It's like you bought like what, a minute? Like, I mean, you got killed pretty quickly. This isn't really saving anyone time or helping anyone escape. Like, and also why is Pinhead like being like, hey, you showed me this picture that I used to be a person, so we're cool now. Like, what?
I don't know.
Like,
it doesn't make sense, man. Don't worry about it.
That's the only part where it really, I mean, that's why the fight really takes kind of the piss out of the Cenobites to me, because it's like, he should know that, like, oh yeah, that was my human form, and I was searching, these horrible delights or something. Like, why would he give a shit that he used to be human? Like, he didn't give like you. I don't know why
because this sucks. That's what I'm saying. It all falls apart at that point. Then they have to go run back in. So now the villain has changed Dr. Chenard, who's kind of the villain all along. Okay, I like that. Yeah. But then it just sucks after that. It just sucks. So that's, again,
it really would have been
a fan of that. This could have been like 85 minutes, cut 14 minutes off at a Dr. Chenard mystery montage. And then all of a sudden,
I'm a
little bit more interested. They do. They needed one. They needed one for this. I don't know. I'm usually not the person to go there, but 100% on board.
I would have just preferred this had the Cenobites really just been kind of watching the whole thing and not really necessarily getting all that involved.
Yeah, that would have been even better. Yeah, I would have liked that too. That'd have been an improvement. I don't know why I'm getting so in depth on this one, man. I'm really into this, Mitch. Okay, I can see how this happens.
You're gonna watch it again. It's just when you got done recording.
No, I'm not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That would be me. That would be me taking pleasure in my own pain. I'm not going to fall to the Cenobite's level at this point. I hope not. Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, look, we can at least, the positives. Let's talk about one really cool positive scene is the fact that she wore her like stepmother's like skin to
incredible. And Julia as a villain, also like a side villain too in this, pretty good.
Yeah.
As well. So I got to call that out. The makeout scene where she doesn't have skin with Dr. Chinari was something
really uncomfortable.
It was real. Yeah, it was great. So if it makes you uncomfortable, it's great. I think that's what they were exactly going for. So they nailed that portion of it.
Yeah.
But again, that was, when they got to hell, like Julia kind of sucked a little bit too. Yeah, it kind of all fell apart. Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah. But the positives you were saying, sorry. So.
Well, just her wearing the skin, and I thought that was a really clever way of kind of running this back. I thought it was really dumb. The problem is this is one of those movies that like for every like clever thing they came up with, they did something real fucking dumb. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. The skin, like, oh, she had her skin, and that's how she put it on because it was all fake skin. That's great. Unfortunately, the way we got that skin was that Julia just somehow got sucked into a vortex inexplicably. Like
so they did run out of money in this because New Line ran out of money, or not New Line, New World Pictures.
Yeah.
So that might be more fair than we're giving it credit for. So I will call that out, that they ran out of money. So, but not necessarily their fault.
They didn't run out of cheap ass obelisk full of face parts popping out of the ground money.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah, like it was just don't have it ended at that point. Just end it before that.
Just end it with something moving from the end it with the mattress moving.
Yeah.
And like a small voice whispering and the guy walking in the door.
Well, yeah, just end it with the guy.
That'd have been perfect.
End it with the guy hanging the mattress and then the arms come up and grab him and then like freeze frame cut.
That's
right?
it. Yep.
That's it. That's what you need.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, guys. I think the moral story, don't overthink these things. Don't try to get all greedy, trying to get like this
first time director is trying to get his whole vision and I understand.
Have a better vision. Go get LASIK. Have
go get LASIK.
Have a better
Damn. Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I really thought I was gonna pull you up, but maybe you pulled me down.
I got my hooks in
dragged me down.
You got my hooks in. Yes.
You got your hooks in me.
Better movie than this.
With that, let's get into the final cut.
Final cut.
Nate, would you like to go first or second?
No, I would like to go second. I want to see what this is going to be.
Okay, that's fair. I did ask. So, yeah. So again, I did overall like this movie. It helps that it's like an hour, a little over an hour and 30. So like, you can manage
97 minutes.
And it's got some good like horror elements. It's got some good it's got some stuff. And to its credit, there aren't many movies that are anywhere remotely like this, that are, have some of the iconic character design, have some of these like just really like creepy ass imagery and body horror type stuff. It's very much as early and as good of a cosmic horror H.P. Lovecraft type of film as you're gonna get, particularly in the 80s. That's it. There's obvious issues with this film in general.
And what I usually credit other movies for is that it takes some swings. It's not not boring. It's going for stuff, and I do appreciate that a lot.
No, I agree. It's not better than the first one. It's definitely better than the ones that come after it. it really doesn't make a lot of sense to kill off.
Don't think about it.
But it doesn't make a lot of sense at all to even kill off the Cenobites. Incapacitate them, sure. Have them sort of scurry off, but like they're just straight up like dead. Okay, like you're doing that to build up this doctor that you didn't need to. I mean, he was already pretty evil and terrible. Well,
they had to rewrite the movie because the original guy, the dad of Kirsty, refused to come back. So they had to actually rewrite the movie. I forgot to mention that.
Well, and again, that leads to my other point of maybe don't rely on the first story. The first story is not all that compelling. Like there was no reason to keep following these same like 3 people around, right? Like
that's true. Yeah, the lore of it is less compelling than the box mystery, the kills, and the Cenobites themselves.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get too far into it.
I don't mind Kirsty being back involved in it, but like
nope.
we didn't need to go revisit her family shit. Like why how is the mom escaping again? Right? Like it's that kind of
Don't
stuff.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. They got a mattress. I
am going to give this movie.
Oh, is that because the mattress was memory foam? Hey that was so terrible.
I wanted to let it sit there for a second just to see if I would. In any case, I don't even know where you say 5 out of 10 lament configurations.
Okay, so I think I dragged you down a little bit.
I probably started. You probably dragged me down a point. I was probably like a 6. I don't think I could have given it higher than a 6. Okay, I would say I fell at a point within the discussion.
It's a bit of a cult classic in a 6.4 on IMDb. I did forget to mention that.
It's a real shitty cult. Yeah.
Well, it's people who are digging in the Cenobite stuff. So take that however you want.
That's fair. That's fair.
But no, there are really good parts to this, real good parts, and they're not good parts, and they kind of balance each other out, to be honest. So I'm also going to go with the 5 out of 10. I would say 5 out of 10 slug monsters. It's, I don't know. It goes for it. And I appreciate that part of it. So I can't fully knock it. That being said, holy shit. There's some garbage missing here. I mean, that young doctor guy, some of the dialogue, the fact they yell each other's names 800,000 times to each other is brutal. There were some interesting choices made. Julia was solid. Chenard was solid. Cenobites were underwhelming. And this one, Kirsty was fine. So that, there were some positives, but generally,
yeah,
there was some missteps. So I'd say a solid 5, but I feel better about it than I did when I first watched it. So maybe that's positive. I don't know.
Well, that was an interesting turn. I didn't think we were going to land. I when we started this, I thought we would be worlds apart, and we end up in the exact same spot. Nate, I don't know. We're just yeah.
And we're syncing up after all this time.
I mean, we're just all Cenobites in a weird fleshy pool of whatever.
What do they do in their off time? Do they have off time? Do they get into that in other movies?
Nate, when you're working at a job you love, you never work a day.
Never work a day in your life. I
mean, why do you need off time? What else are you gonna do that you would enjoy more than the thing you love doing all the time, which is?
Do they get a break? I mean, the one guy can't blink his eyes. Doesn't he need like some sort of eye dropper?
What do they need a break for, Nate? They don't move. What are they going to take a break to go move around?
You are. This is straight facts right here. Yeah, that's true. They're not even burning calories. They're on their feet all day. I don't know. Well, they can't move. They might be propped up. Like they're basically just
I'm
thinking of those old metal leg things people used to wear like after they had polio, like in the 1950s, like the Forrest Gump, like the leg, that's all underneath all of the skin, like the skin tight leather has that underneath it. That's why they can't move. I'd love to think that was the case.
What in the world are you going on about? I don't know. If you know, let us know at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. And of course, Texas Podcast Massacre at gmail.com. That's right. I've stolen this part from Nate because I just don't think we're going to get through it.
Hey, let us know. Let us know. 346-246. Oh God, what's the? Oh no, 31.
Oh no, boo.
3143.
You forgot.
346-246-3143. Let us know. Hey, what's better, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, or Gretel and Hansel? Let us know.
Oh, call in with that. I want to hear it.
If you give us a 5-star, we'll do any movie you want. So it could be. Wait, hold on. Is Gretel and Hansel allowed again?
No.
There's another 5-star review?
No.
Okay.
What, do you really want to hear me talk about that movie again? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Plus, I ran. Yes.
Yeah.
I ran about that movie for free on most episodes. So the sheer mention of it sends me into a blinding rage. So
yeah, send a 5-star review. Just do that call, and I think everyone gets what they want at that point. So.
If that's what you want, I guess there's that. Oh my God. From all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.